Joining us now is Hank Sheinkopf, president of Sheinkopf Communications, Democratic strategist and Newsmax contributor. He's also a PhD, he'll tell you. And Noah Rothman, assistant online editor of Commentary Magazine. All right, Hank, let me go to you here first. You know, he went on, Jeff Weaver went on to talk about the Saturday night debates and how this is probably, you know, helping Hillary. They don't want to give Hillary too much exposure out there. And basically he's accusing the DNC of propping up Hillary and being in her corner.
Well, look, we don't know all the facts. What we do know is that data did belong to Secretary Clinton, somehow wound up being given to the Sanders campaign. There's an accident involved. But it's not smart to challenge this, and there ought to be another way to do it that is not public, because all this does is make Democrats look stupid and makes the Clinton campaign look like it's trying to hurt an insurgent.
All right, well, just to clarify, it's not smart for who to challenge this? For the Sanders campaign to challenge it?
The DNC is doing this for who knows what reason. There had to be another way to do this in private.
So it's not smart what they're doing?
Not smart.
Yeah.
Not smart.
Yeah, what do you think is going on here, Noah?
Yeah, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the chair of the DNC, has again stepped in it. She's made a series of critical errors, and by saying that the Sanders campaign only has bluster in this incident, she's furthering the Sanders preferred narrative that the DNC is behind the Hillary Clinton campaign. She jumped right off the ref's chair. The Sanders campaign has a really good point to make here. If there was an illegal violation of the Clinton data, then that is something that should be punished. They say a lot of other people besides the one who was fired, the one staffer who was fired, are guilty of that, but they also have lost their own data, their own proprietary voter data, and that is something that they can legitimately be frustrated about.
All right, Barack Obama had his year-end press conference today, and one of the things he's talking about is executive orders on gun control. And now there are reports, Newsmax has a story today, that Obama's people are saying it's going to be weeks, not months, before final recommendations come on his ability and legality in his issuing an executive order to mandate background checks. I mean, Hank, this is not, you know, what the American public wants, another executive order from a president who has issued a bunch of them, and they all get challenged in court, and court after court says they're unconstitutional.
This executive order, should it become public, will in fact be challenged in court anyway. Is it the wise thing to do to request background checks, particular kinds of background checks on potential gun purchases? Yeah, probably, especially in this climate. Would it be just as good to do something about straw purchasers, guys who are paid to purchase guns at gun shows, but then those guns are used for who knows what? That would be better. But again, taking a public stance of some kind, whether it will be challenged or not, is the most important thing you can do right now. That's what politicians are supposed to do.
No, well, you know, I mean, the president's not supposed to circumvent the Congress. The Congress doesn't want to do this. They haven't done this. And their representatives who elect them don't want them to do it. We saw for the first time the New York Times poll, for the first time in over 20 years, after the San Bernardino attacks, they polled, and there's a majority against a so-called assault weapons ban for the first time. So once again, Obama and the rest of the liberal media is out of touch with the American public.
Well, they're not out of touch with the left. Hank put it in a really good place when he said, you know, we should be doing something. Something should be done given the current climate, and that's what Democrats really want. The president has one job at this stage of his presidency, and that is to keep the Democratic coalition together and behind the Democratic platform. They have to keep behind Hillary Clinton, and that's something that a lot of liberals are loath to do at this point. So they're dispirited in this administration. They're restive about supporting Hillary Clinton. They're not especially appreciative of the Obama legacy, and the whole mission right now is to keep everybody in line.
How do you feel, Hank, about, you know, if Hillary were president, according to her, the families who Obama's going to meet with today, the San Bernardino victims, the family members, would be able to sue the gun manufacturers who manufacture the specific guns used to kill their loved ones. That's, to me, is like saying somebody hits me with a car, I'm going to go sue Toyota. Because the guy was driving drunk.
In fact, we have sued car manufacturers for defects in cars that
No, for the user that was drunk. That's a different story.
Hold on. If you're saying outlaw guns, that's fine. Have a national debate. If you're saying play games, that's not fair. You want to outlaw guns? Have a discussion about it. But you just can't go around everybody's back to do something that's crazy. And doing crazy here is not taking real action.
Well, that's all of running on that platform.
All of this is about symbolic gestures. By the way, symbolic gestures are not very good. We're like releasing criminals from Guantanamo Bay right now, which would be very, very stupid.
Right, and no, that's another thing that Obama wants to do is close Gitmo, and you know, and Hank's right. It would be stupid. It would look horrible in this climate. But this is the man who released Gitmo prisoners while the bodies were still laying in the theater in Paris.
Look, Democrats cannot have a national security debate in the same way that Republicans can, because in doing so, they have to indict the president's handling of national security, and they are unable to do that. And as a result, we have national discussions about gun control, which equate crime with terrorism. One you can defeat, the other you cannot. We have discussions about the weather, about climate change, about whatever we can talk about that has nothing to do with national security policy and defeating radical Islamic terrorism overseas.
Not all Democrats feel that way. Certainly this Democrat on this program has been very public about Barack Obama and the failures from the beginning.
But Hillary is Obama, and let me just bring you
We
one
need
more.
Harry Truman. Instead, we have Barack
Very
Obama. This
quickly,
is a disaster.
Hank, there's a report out, Bill Gertz today in the Free Beacon, that President Obama, he said that they're bombing the camps, the ISIS camps, but in fact a very limited number of the existing ISIS camps, which is producing 1,000 soldiers a month, have in fact been hit.
It's
Why?
idiotic. We're not fighting. This is not Nazi Germany we're fighting, where we put the full force of this country at work. This is a peanut group of gangsters that should be taken off the planet Earth right now, and American firepower is the only way to do it.
And Noah, if Hillary would say that, she'd differentiate herself from Obama, but she's not. She agrees with him.
Yeah, she would. She probably should be saying that we should be doing what the president is doing, but doing it more robustly. And you have bombing runs, for example. Most of these bombing runs go, and they're unable to release their payload because the target is not secured, and we don't have people on the ground lasing these targets,
That
sighting
means there
these
might
targets.
be a civilian there, too.
Yeah,
right?
as a result,
God forbid.
it's not that we're not flying these sorties,
Right,
it's that
we're
they're
just
not releasing the
dropping
ordnance.
bombs. Guys, great debate. I thank you for a great panel. Thank you very much, Noah and Hank. All right, up next, former federal prosecutor Andy McCarthy. But first, don't forget to cast your vote for who you feel won Tuesday's debate, the GOP debate. Log on to newsmaxpolls.com. That's newsmaxpolls.com.